Welcome to I Have HIV, a podcast dedicated for people living with HIV, their friends, and family. A Paws Impact and Antonio T. Smith Jr. production. Welcome to I Have HIV. Damaged to speak. We lie here naked. Yeah, you worry about me.
We are currently still living in the pandemic with HIV. HIV has not gone anywhere since the 80s, and we have to bring it to the front. We need to reach zero new transmission, and the only way that we're able to achieve this is by bringing it back to the forefront of the community and bringing different voices of the community and making sure that this while this disease is very manageable, it's not curable. So what we need to do is we need to prevent it from happening. And there's several new drugs that are out there, and we're going to be talking about what PrEP is, what all these different medications that are out there now that you can control. You can take it to prevent 99%. You will basically have a 99% chance of not getting HIV. Its effectiveness is 99.9%. And so nothing in life is more than 99%. And so I am living with HIV is very important because right now no one's talking about what HIV is. And no one's really discussing, yes, we know that it's out there. Yes, we know that our Black and brown brothers and sisters are dying from this. Our trans community is affected. Our LGBT people are more affected. We have to bring back the conversation to the community and have the community be involved in the conversation.
Right? The people who vote online won't vote for the grand old party because they actually know how to use a computer and they can Google your lies. And there is no way that I'm going to put online voting if my job is to protect my lobbying that I'm getting ready to retire to. Right? So we need to get rid of lobbying. We need to establish these online voting, but we won't. That's why immigration is a big deal. Listen, y'all, everybody was NPR reported this year that immigration is at an all-time low, at least from the Mexican border. Damn walls don't stop planes. All our immigration comes from people overstaying their visa. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the Mexican border. But the reason why we are tripping over immigration is because the people who are coming over, if they decide to stay, they're going to need some assistance, and the party of assistance is not the party that is grand old party. So our issues are, we make them color, but it's not it. It is about protecting the livelihood and the paychecks of our legacies so we can stay in power. Concisely, women are never going to get power or equity they deserve because as long as men are making rules, then men need to give up power to give those women equity. More concisely, we don't vote online. We fight against immigration, not because it's a big deal, not because it's hurting the economy, because if I let y'all in, it'll tip the balance and I won't be in party no more. And lastly, Supreme Court is a bunch of BS as long as it continues the way it is, because we're not picking the most qualified person. We're picking the person that I can put in power so when I die, they name a school after me. Yeah. And keep my party in power.
Can we talk about foreign affairs? Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan.
Yep.
We are in like 5, 6, 20 wars at the moment with so many countries. Libya. How we've been in war with Afghanistan for 20 years, 18 years. Yep. How do you vision yourself being as president, getting our troops safely out of Afghanistan, but also making sure that we're responsible in a responsible way,
Yep.
Not only Afghanistan, Syria, all those Arab countries out there, we are dominating them, but nothing's happening. We're fighting this lose war that nothing's no progress, or I see no progress that's benefiting me as an American. Like, we're supposed to be stopping these terror attacks from coming, but what's really happening? What's really going to go on with foreign policy? Iran, the nuclear deal.
Yep.
Should they get nuclear weapons? Every other Russia has nuclear weapons.
Which is the only power that can actually afford them. But keep going.
But what I'm saying is, just how are we going to get out of all these wars that we're currently in? I mean, world peace. We talk about world peace as it's like something that is out of reach, but in reality, it really is not out of reach if we can just set aside the money, But maybe that's hard. Maybe that's hard to think of. But if we can, if the United States can be the leader in it and say, okay, this is what's gonna have to happen, or maybe live your life as you want to, just don't come to us. I mean, I don't know what the magic word is or what the magical solution would be, but there's people way smarter than I am out there. But I do know that I want to be out of this war. I do know what I want our troops out of there. We have other things that we should be, addressing, other than trying to, people being killed, having the Taliban, having a treaty with the Taliban, that's recently been that our current administration is currently trying to do. What's your thoughts on
Oh, I got way more than thoughts on this. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna answer it anyway. The way we get out is the same way we got in. We just get out. Okay. There is no solution because we keep colonizing. There is never a solution to colonizing, but stop colonizing. We're gonna have to accept that. Okay. Let's look at what you call the Age of Isms, which approximately happened between the Enlightenment period and the modern period. First off, World War I was just because we went crazy and we just went to war. Everybody had allies. And this whole Age of Isms, we came up with all these radical ideas, from Christianism to any ism that there possibly was. And one of the worst ones possible was nationalism, right? Which is tearing up the whole thing right now. So we're not putting places on, we're not going to war and saying, please keep your culture. That's not what we're doing. We're Americanizing everything. And they don't like that. And as long as you keep putting your culture on other people, they're going to fight. Case in point, I move in with you. I say, hey, this is how stuff going to run now. See how you just don't like that?
Oh, no.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, this make common sense with just regular people talking, right? The real issue is money. And it always will be. For one, we don't have a lack of money because we just printed it. It has no value, right? We scared everybody, said we're going to take up all your gold. It's illegal to have it. That was a lie. What we wanted to do, as long as gold was out there backing up money, they couldn't do what they do now. Every time, first off, you can't have a single dollar without a debt first. That's the way our money works. We borrow, the United States government borrows from what you call the Federal Reserve, which is not a federal anything. It's just a nice name, propaganda or PR, which is what we like to say. And then they say, well, you owe me this. And the government says, well, yeah, I owe you that, but I'm gonna make Titan pay it because I'm not gonna pay it. I'm gonna pay it off by making him pay it off. That's what happens.
I don't know about this.
That's called taxes, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right.
That's called income taxes, which makes absolutely no sense. Remember, America was a country that said, "Damn, please stop taxing my income." We said that. No Federal Reserve, right? No bank in England doing that. And then Andrew Jackson, and we got the bank all back. The problem is money. It'll never stop being money. Here's the problem. The problem is that the wars are profitable, not to the 97% of Americans. It is profitable to the corporations and the governments who get to keep on cashing in. And anyone who's benefiting from that, which is every politician there is. That is the problem. The problem is war is big business. It is big business for me to make up a law to build $1 billion jet in which we no longer need. Just Google it right now. Our generals asked the government last year, please stop building tanks. We have too many. We kept building. Why? Because here's the sneakiest thing we do as a government. We pass a bill, and then you say, can't do that on the bill. They say, okay, bill's been defeated. Ladies and gentlemen, we've listened to you. That's not what happened. They did listen to you by letting that bill go. And now they pass a bill to build some battle jet. And they dog ear. Exactly. They put everything that failed, they put it on that bill. So when you pass this bill, you immediately get all the funding for every single thing else that was denied. And the best way to hide that is war, right? War funds all my selfishness. To stop that would to stop me from getting money, and that's a problem.
See, that is a problem. So real quick, just closing, we're having about 30 minutes left of the show. I know we kind of threw you guys in here as well too.
I enjoyed y'all.
Any kind of closing remarks? People listening to the show, Facebook Live, that have maybe not seen. Did you want to go ahead and maybe repeat where they can find the first outcry? Because it's currently on Amazon. So where do you search on Amazon? How do you find it?
Yeah.
What do you Google? What do you type in the search to look for it? And then
so you can actually go to the normalanomaly.org. Sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah, you can actually go to the normalanomaly.org. It has the trailer and the link on the About page. Also, if you're searching on Prime Video, just type in Outcry the Mini Doc and it'll come up. We're excited to be showing it this Thursday, September 12th at 7. Red carpet starts at 6:30. Once again, I'm black, but I'm on time. I'll be the guy in the Giuseppe's, by the way. No. No, but
I couldn't even get the mic on top of me.
So yeah, super excited. You can follow us on the Normal Anomaly on Facebook, on Instagram. Yeah, thank you.
It is right there.
That's
Yes.
it.
There
That's
you go.
it. Yes.
Look at that, you guys. It is for real.
Included with my prime.
Look
at that.
Anything else? So how can people find you? Oh, you did say that.
Yeah, you can
Is
follow
somebody-
me on Facebook at Ian L. Haddock. Yes, Ian L. Haddock. I think I'm unfortunately out of space for friends. But
Delete people that's inactive.
you can follow me at Ian
Yeah,
L.
follow.
Haddock. No,
Just click the friend.
If
Just
you
click the friend request,
if
you'll
you
follow
follow
me.
me, and we engage. You got some engaging stuff. I got some engaging stuff. Child, there's so many
That's
people
how
on
it
there I
is.
delete.
I need to be on
Yeah.
the next one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. I'm
I
looking.
really want him to come on.
No, I'm down.
Yeah.
Y'all need to talk. Y'all, what y'all got to say?
Any
Who's on
closing?
the mic? You got school today?
What happened? Boy, went to the
He-
90s.
So, closing remarks. I'm sure you're going to be there as well too, right?
Yes. Going to be there. I just closing. Just come check it out. Just come hear the outcry, our community's outcry. It's conversations that need to be had, and I think that this is more of a family type of showing or premiere or viewing, if you would, because I think the family needs to be the cornerstone of what happened. We're talking about the church. We get that part. But a lot of times your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncles, they shunned you, kicked you out of your home for doing, so it's one of those things. So with that, I ask that you come out, check it out. Well, it's already sold out, but hopefully we'll have another showing or premiere. But I think that we just want people to really, really take it in for what it is, and then digest it for what it is. I don't know if that makes sense. sense,
Yes,
right?
yes, that,
Right.
that
You know,
definitely
not-
makes sense.
Don't put anything on it. Just take it for what it is, so you can understand where we're coming from, right? Because a lot of people think we're just bashing the church, and that's not what we're actually doing. What we're doing is just opening up to be able to say, okay, hey,
Conversation.
this is what exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Talk.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Y'all can follow us at the Normal Anomaly, as Ian said. I am Kimmy Doll, and I'm probably going to be somewhere with Ian. So if you see him, you see me.
Right.
All right,
Don't have
Mr.
one
President. I see
I wear drawers.
these people are mic shy. So, do you guys have any questions for our president? You guys are here. You guys have.
No,
you guys have
I
a
was
can-
serious about inviting you on the Real Gag. I don't know if you have heard of us, listened to us, saw us anywhere, but not in regards to the president thing. I honestly would like to have you come on so we could talk about being woke.
Ooh,
And
you
I don't
talking
know.
my language.
I mean, I've been pretty
Yes.
quiet here, so do your research, listen to the Real Gag, look
I'm
us
already
up, watch
there.
our Facebook,
She right there. She booked me right now.
The Real
As soon
Gag.
as we done.
so that you can know where we're coming from. Because
Nah.
it's straight talk, no chasing.
Oh, I need to be there.
All right,
I
babe.
need to be
Straight
there.
talk, no chasing.
I need
Yeah,
to be there.
You guys
we
have been-
get
you
to
guys
the
have
bottom
been-
line.
You guys have been super mic shy with me on Paws Impact, but when you guys are on Wednesdays, you guys go at it.
I mean,
We're just being mic shy tonight because
Yeah,
it's
because
about the
it's-
outcry.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you know,
well, not necessarily Mike Shaw,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I have learned that this is my brother's baby, and I am simply here to support him. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes.
It does.
So, yeah, when we talk about the Real Gag, that's all of my babies, and I talk big buku shit on there. So I can't really talk a lot of shit here, but I am knowledgeable
I gotta
on the
get on the
subject
show.
matter. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
She
So
gonna-
yeah,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate the
and
invite
it is,
too. Real
yes.
talk.
it was really an honor for me to have you guys on here to talk
Thank
about
you.
the show.
Thank you.
And because we want to be able to talk about the church, we want to be able to talk about HIV, we want to talk about mental health illness and how that oscillates. It doesn't have a face. It can be anybody out there, and you guys are so passionate, and so I'm so thankful that you guys came. And out of the blue, it was really a last minute thing. So I definitely thank you so much for showing up and talking about this important document series that you think that from start to finish is like you said, it was your baby. So we're definitely thankful. So we're just gonna go ahead, and since you guys are being a little bit shy with me, we're just gonna go ahead and start with this. Finish up with our president here, and making sure we start asking them some questions. And you guys don't have any questions for him?
No.
Nothing.
I ain't tripping.
Huh?
I ain't
All right,
tripping.
guys. So,
I'm ready.
what is your vision? What is your what is your plan for the first 100 days? That you talked about that's the honeymoon. A lot of people put out what the first 100 days is going to be.
Yep.
As president, what do you see as your main goal for the first 100 days to do in office once you get into office, other than Clorox the entire house?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I got 3 major things that I want to do. Man, hey, y'all doing y'all thing for real. For real. Yeah, look, y'all gotta check them out. They doing their thing right there. Seriously.
I'm not gonna get a picture with you guys,
Seriously.
but it's okay. It's okay.
Nah, get a picture now, man. I can hold on and get a picture now. Look, I
I don't
sing
have-
ABC. ABC. So that ain't no dead space. Yeah, they finna
No,
get a
it's okay.
picture.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get a picture.
We'll
We'll
get
get
a
a picture
At the
at the
premiere.
event.
Yeah.
Yes, for
The
sure.
event. Man, appreciate y'all. Real talk. Real talk. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, you guys. We're so happy. And if you guys are just tuning in, you guys have been listening to Paws Impact. We are Houston's first radio show dedicated to people living with HIV, their friends, and
Oh,
family
okay. Cool.
on Real Talk 100 Radio. I forgot to give out
So
the
I
call
can say
number,
that.
but if you guys have questions for our future president,
Appreciate it.
please give us a call at 281-318-8650. If you have any kind of questions regarding presidential questions, because the new anomaly has left the building.
Left the building.
But we are super excited that they were here with us to talk about their documentary series. But turning back to our president, our future president, what is your goal for the first 100 days?
Yeah, my goal, you got to turn it. I got a three-part goal for the first 100 days. All of them are aggressive. None of them raises taxes, okay? Every bit aggressive. None of them raises taxes. I kind of mentioned one. I'll explain that now. What I want to do is I want to fix climate change, combat climate change immediately, and wipe out all student loans immediately. And it's with that carbon emission fee that I was talking about. You take all that money, then wipe out all the student loans. The second thing I want to do is I want to attack more, so student loans, and I want to give more to education. I want to raise all teacher salaries in the United States to $92,000 a year.
I got diagnosed 2 years ago. Actually, will be 2 years ago. I got diagnosed in April, and it was a life changing. First, I shouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for the drugs and the medication. And knowing your status is so important because I didn't have to suffer this. My T cell count was at 10 when I first got diagnosed, which is like 0 is the lowest and 800 is the highest, and I'm at a 10. And so that tells you that I was so sick. And so knowing your status, and that's because I was afraid as well too, to know my own status. And that's what I want to, that's the whole reason why for this podcast, is to bring more awareness about knowing your status and knowing that HIV is not a death sentence, but we do have to control it. And so U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable. So once you on a regimen, you become untransmitted, you can't pass it to anybody else. But how do you know that you can't pass it? Or how do you know that you're HIV negative? Is by continuing taking blood tests every 3 months. So going to your doctor, if you're sexually active, continue taking PrEP, or ask about PrEP to your physician if that's something that you're interested in. It does help for people who like to have natural sex. And, there's people who are out there who want this. And so we have the opportunity to be able to have frank conversations with people who are currently taking PrEP, people who have been a long time HIV positive, who have been living it for 30 plus years, 20 plus years. We want to, bring the conversation back to the community. We want to be able to make sure that the community knows that HIV doesn't have a face. It's all of us.
My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. In 2005, I had a close family member die to HIV. And to be honest with you, I'm still probably not even supposed to know it. In fact, the only reason I know it is because an angry family member said it in anger and it slipped out. And that's how I found out. And that's why I'm so passionate about this podcast, because I'm tired of people like me, family who would support and who would have loved on my cousin. She died alone. She died in the hospital bed completely alone because I didn't know. And because I was too busy playing basketball than being with my cousin. And I'm very passionate about what Josh Mica does. He wants to change the world, and I hope all of you contact him. And that's why I'm so extremely passionate about this podcast. But I suffer every day that I let my cousin die alone, because 2005 made me an ally, but I shouldn't have to go through a death like that to become an ally. All of us should be allies. That's my story, and that's why Josh is doing this podcast, and that's why we're here.
Now I finally build it back up, 'cause I've had enough. It's a minefield in my mind, and I'm headed for destruction. Mama, tell me it's alright before I turn to nothing.